Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is that side character, chapter 11, and this one is titled Friends. My phone is dead. Here I am talking about keeping batteries for you, and I don't even have any battery life left in my own phone, you laughed. What phone do you have? He asked. You showed him. It's the same as mine, he replied. Oh, awesome. Do you have a charger? You asked, following him to his front doorstep. He nodded, and you followed him inside and up to his room. Seeing it was the second time that you'd been in his room, you felt immediately comfortable and chucked your bag onto his bed, then flopped down onto it, while he looked in the bottom drawer to get a spare charger. Finally, he pulled it out and handed it to you, and you thanked him happily and plugged it into the wall at the end of his bed, then plugged the other end into your phone and waited for your phone to start up. You got the charger for your game thingy? You asked him over your shoulder. He was plugging it in, sitting cross-legged on the floor facing the wall, and you smiled when you saw he was getting it sorted, the start screen lighting up in his hands. Just then your phone turned on, and you unlocked it, and then went to the internet, and typed your question in, and then read the answer. Okay, it says here that women speak more on average than men, but how would I ever find out how much I speak? I'd have to count every word I said. You thought for a moment. I could do a small sample with Kenma today, I guess. You looked back at him as he waited for his game to load. Hey, Kenma, you asked him. That's 2 words. He looked over his shoulder at you, looking at you and waiting for you to say something. How are you? You asked randomly. That's 3 words. 5 so far. He blinked. Are you counting the words you're saying? He asked. 7, you replied bluntly. You've said more than me so far. No, wait, hang on. That's 13, 14, 15, plus 16, 5, 17. You fell silent as you tried to work it out in your head. This is a waste of words, he said, and you looked at him, trying to calculate his extra words as well. Are you still counting? He asked, when he saw you just staring at him vacantly. That's another 4 words, you thought. You are, aren't you? He deadpanned. 4? I can tell, he replied before turning his attention back to his PSP. You waited for him to keep talking, but he had had his attention diverted now, and you turned back to your phone. I still don't think I talk that much, he replied with a smile. After he had charged his PSP enough, he unplugged it from the wall and moved to the bed at your feet, and you rolled over onto your back with the phone held above your face. Hey, you suddenly said, raising your head to stare at him at your feet. How come your hair is so long? Why don't you cut it short? You got up, leaving your phone to charge, and crawled over to him to pull one side of his fringe back. The second your fingers touched his hair and shifted it, he jumped and pushed your hand away. Don't, he said softly. Why? You asked. I don't like having too wide a vision. Gives me anxiety, he said softly. Oh, yeah, I can understand that, you replied with a shrug. But your baby pic looked so cute, so I just thought maybe you should cut it short so I could see what you look like. He looked at you, his face very close to yours. Why would I try and look cute? He asked, confused as to why anyone would want to try and look cute. I don't know, you shrugged, and then went back to your phone. You stayed at Kenma's for a long time that afternoon, not talking much, but just kind of present with each other in the same room, while he occasionally grunted while playing his PSP. It looked like he was having a hard time doing something in-game, but you didn't want to disturb him, so kept your mouth shut, which you were really proud of yourself for. As the sun started to set, you picked up your bag and unplugged your phone that was now at 70% and said goodbye, telling Kenma that you'd see him tomorrow. Off you skipped home, suddenly remembering that you hadn't told him that you now had his phone number. Oh, it's fine, I'll tell him next time I see him, you thought as you got to your front door. The next morning you got up, got ready, and ran to the front door to get to Kenma's house early. He was waiting at the front of his place, and you ran up to him with a smile. Hey, did you beat that boss or whatever you were trying to beat last night? Yeah, he said. Oh, good, because you looked annoyed, and I thought maybe you'd be happier today if you'd beaten it. You adjusted your bag on your shoulder and swung your arms as you started to head off to school, with him walking along beside you. On the way to school you saw a squirrel and nearly knocked Kenma out with your enthusiasm as you pointed hysterically at it. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, it's so cute! You screeched in a barely audible voice, grabbing Kenma's shoulders and shaking him violently. He looked so done, and the school hadn't even started for that day, but he tolerated you for the rest of the walk there, and then you parted ways to get to your lockers and then head to class. You were really happy that day. You and Kenma were back on talking terms, and it made you happy. You were also going to watch him play that afternoon, but he didn't know that yet. As school came to a close, he was nowhere to be found, but you knew where he was, and so you got your things and then skipped to the gym. You could hear the boys inside before you could see them, and you jumped through the open door with your arms out wide. "Kenma!" you shouted happily. "The main character's arrived!" "It's me, I'm the main character," you added, just in case it needed clarification. Kenma had his back to you but froze when he heard your voice, and for a second you thought that he was going to tell you to go away. You waited. Ooh, next chapter, chapter 12, coming tomorrow. See you then.